Ready, go ahead and roll.
Okay, we'll call to order the Board of Directors meeting for the Williamson County Emergency Communication District. And this meeting is being held pursuant to Executive Order 7-8 of the Governor of the State of Tennessee. As such, all members of the board must be able to hear me and each other. And we'll now take a roll call. Mr. Fuber.
Here.
Mr. Hughes. Mr. Lovett.
Here.
Mr. Allman. Mr. Ring. Mr. Graves. And myself, Ken Bryson, and we will proceed with the meeting. We do have a quorum present. There may others join us lately.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, somebody just got on. I don't know who it is.
I just got on, Bill. This is Presley.
Okay, Mr. Hughes, we've got you.
So we have 5 present. The first order of business will be the approval of the minutes from January the 19th. Is there a motion to approve?
I move
We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. Any corrections or additions? All in favor, aye.
You'll have, Mr. Chairman, you'll
Oh,
have to do a roll call. Yes, sir.
Sorry.
That's all right.
For approval of the minutes, Mr. Fuber,
Yay.
Mr. Hughes,
Aye.
Mr. Lovett,
Aye.
Mr. Allman, Mr. Ring, Mr. Graves, and myself, all aye. The minutes are approved. Now for the report, our treasurer's report, Mr. Lovett.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hopefully everyone got the read ahead packet. And I apologize. I'm a little bit wonky on this. Ms. Amy is not feeling well and not able to be here with us. And I didn't make it over here earlier as I intended to try to get ahead of it. But of our current account balances in our checking account, the ending balance, the starting balance, January 1 was $3,283,392.22. Received a credit from the City of Franklin, $15,400. Paid legal services of $738 and communications license fees to AT&T for $11,696. We have a credit also for $15,400 on City of Franklin. I just noticed, so it was reversed.
You're saying it's going both ways. They accidentally,
They double paid us.
that funding was for
That was for
Everbridge,
That was for Everbridge.
and it was supposed to go to the county, not the district.
Thank you for the reminder. Yes, so they mistakenly paid and then were reimbursed. We received $278.86 of interest. So our ending balance as of 1/31 was $3,271,237.08. Of the CDs, the transfers had gone through. 3 of the CDs gained $74.31, and one $108.29. That's the one that hasn't renewed yet at the lower rate, unfortunately. So the good thing is, at least right now, it's getting an extra $34-ish. And then $14.99 in interest paid, totaling $346.21 improvement. So our ending balance there is $4,389,006.88. So if you go to the actual budget, in the operating revenue, We received $1,776,244 total of all of the various contracted services and fees. Our current balance is $984,357.60. The amounts shown under the amount and budget columns are the same at $2,766,602. Under operating expenses, we paid, make sure I get this right, Bill, we paid $410 in auditing against a budgeted amount of $840. So far, we have spent $2,162.25 in legal. Budget is $10,250. Towards to employees, we have spent $105 out of $1,200. Dues and memberships administrative, excuse me, $5,200 versus $5,700. I believe that was, if I'm correct on that, that was where our bond actually wound up being less than we had originally forecasted. And then an expense on the premiums on the surety fidelity, there's the bonds, $1,701 against $2,100. So they were less, they were $399 less than budgeted. So our subtotal of administrative expenses was $50,090. Under the communications operations, the communications licenses and fees, the expense was $93,568 versus a budget of $156,000. Training expenses of $28,048.16 versus a budget of $44,232. Impact payments to government agencies of $432,940.50 against a budget of $3,036,762. Maintenance and warranty contracts, there were no expenses in. So our subtotals in communications and operations were $554,556.66 against a budget of $3,259,994. And then other than payroll expenses of $571,967, budget of $3,310,084. Our grand total operating expenses was $571,967.91 with a budget of $3,310,084. Sorry, I'm going between the vernaculars back and forth. There were some non-operating revenues that all of those combined in interest income, primary government subsidies, and TCB reimbursements, totaling $399,360.11, the budget of $931,615. So our total change in net position, $1,603,636, and our budget was $382,133. And I'm not seeing where those reconcile anywhere. Is there another page that I'm missing, or am I skipping something?
I think that's it.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right, so that is the information that I have. I was looking to see if those came together, but that is all that I've got in a report. Are there any questions or comments?
Questions of Anybody from Mr. Lovett? Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
I move.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report. We'll do the roll call vote. Mr. Fubern,
Yay.
Mr. Hughes,
Aye.
Mr. Lovett, Mr. Almond,
Aye.
Mr. Ring, Mr. Gray, and myself, I vote aye. So the motion carried unanimously. The treasurer's report's approved and is approved, and we'll have the emergency communication director, Christie.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I hope I get through this okay. I've got a little bit of a cold, so if I have to stop for a minute and get a cough drop, that's what I'm doing. I had hoped for you guys to have a more of an update for the Christmas Day bombing, but at the last state TECB, I did send out an email after that, but at the last one, there was no representative from AT&T. What they did is during that meeting voted to have 2 representatives from 911 to represent us with AT&T. Those representatives are Stephen Martini and Curtis Sutton, and they're going to be taking all of our concerns to AT&T and working through them to resolve any issues. I did receive 2 phone calls for after action. One of those was AT&T, and one of those was from Mission Critical Partners, and they were assigned through the TECB. So I'm confident that they're taking this serious, that they are doing after action reports and trying to gather all that information to find ways to mitigate these issues and make sure that they do not happen again. And I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit away from what I have down for my report, but I want to give you a few updates. I know that you all were aware that we did have a weather event the week of February 15th, and I just wanted to brag on our staff a little bit. We had staff that stayed here all week. Some stayed internally in our building. Some were staying at hotels that were provided by the county. And some drove long distances through the snow. And they stayed dedicated to our center during that time and were able to provide full staffing the entire time through the entire event. So we were very blessed with some good dedicated employees here at Williamson County Emergency Communications. We did switch. We had a fairly smooth transition to ESINet last week, so we are over to the ESINet now. And I'm going to move on to what you should have in front of you. From January to February, our total 911 calls was around 8,556. Total non-emergency calls received was 22,417. And total dispatch calls for service was 16,084. For staffing, operations is currently 8 positions short, 50 of the 58, not including our one part-timer. During this last interview round, we did receive 74 applicants, which was an all-time high for us. We had 39 scheduled to take critical testing. Only 17 of those came in actually test, and only 9 of those passed. Out of those 9, we chose 4 new telecommunicators who just started with us on March 1st. They have started classroom training, and next week they will transition onto on-the-job training March 22nd. We are continuing to research ways to improve the hiring and retention. Some of those things we're working on is employee engagement, peer support programs. We're really focusing on accountability, looking at our training in QA and recognition, and also gathering all of the reasons we have for resignations so that we can determine why we aren't retaining employees. Retention is a national problem. It's not just for us here in Williamson County. It is nationally a difficult job to do, and so we are working on ways to make our center one of the best. The statistics is just like normal. We received 8,056 calls. 748 of those were landlines. We just don't get a lot of those anymore. 6,579 are wireless and 655 VoIP. 74 were unclassified, and of that, 22,417 we received non-emergency. Which means we're still staying with around national average, with 90% of our calls were from VoIP or wireless. I went ahead and included sick traveler. I've been including that in the last few reports just to give you an idea of how COVID is impacting our 911 center. And I also included a graph there. You can see that we had around 133 total sick travelers over this time frame. 104 of those were in January. So February, it was only 29. So we are continuing to see a decrease as they're getting those vaccines out and people are still doing what they need to do to stay safe. And that is all I have for you. I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, this is Alan. I do not have a question, but along what Christy was saying during the weather event, just to give an example, not only were they able to keep the center operational, but there was one day that EMS had an all-time record high number of calls that was 55% higher than our previous ever volume for one 24-hour period, and was 3 times the volume that our average is currently. And so I would say that not only were they able to be staffed, and I know that there's a lot of struggles. I know Christy's doing a lot of work trying to keep employees engaged and show appreciation for them. But that's something I think can't be overstated, how well they did in an event with everything going on. And I just wanted to mention those details.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Alan.
We'll move on to old business. Is there any old business? New business? Kenny, did you have anything under new business?
Yes. Oh, no, sir. Not under new business.
Chairman.
Okay. We do have one item, and if you looked at your packet, you saw it, that Joe Hastings, they're our auditors, and they have sent a 3-year proposal to continue as their auditors, and it looks like the amount we were to pay will be $500 more per year. It'll be basically the same contract, and probably we need permission to sign it. So if you've had a chance to read it, it's a real simple 1-page thing. And what I guess we're looking for is a motion to allow me to sign on their behalf to keep the same auditors.
I move that we approve as presented.
Okay, we have a motion to
Second.
we have a second. What I heard.
Yeah, John.
Yeah, John. Okay, sorry. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Roll call.
I can't
Sorry.
do that. Roll call. Mr. Fubern,
Yay.
Mr. Hughes, Mr. Levitt, Mr. Almond,
Aye.
Mr. Ring,
Aye.
Mr. Graves is not here. So, unanimous approval of this, and we get it ready to sign. I'll try to keep before we get signed and back to them. Is there any other old business? Legal counsel? Ken, do you have anything?
Yes, sir. You all should have received a copy of the draft interlocal agreement prepared for Fairview and Nolensville. And it's a tri-party agreement. CD, Williamson County, and then the cities. It is very similar to the contract that we have with the city of Franklin. Party contract is because the does not handle dispatch services. Our only obligation is to answer the phone and say no.
I think we're having trouble hearing you, Kenny.
Yeah, what's your audio?
Better?
Try it again.
Is this better?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I guess I had some papers over the mic. You should have received a copy of the interlocal agreement or the draft interlocal agreement between the ECD, Williamson County, and what will be the city of Fairview and the city of Nolensville. This has to be a tri-party agreement, similar to the contract that we have with the city of Franklin. Reason for that is the ECD does not handle dispatching services. Only obligation is to answer the phone call and gather the information and then transfer the call to the respective public safety agency. So that's why we have always had the contract with Williamson County, is because Williamson County handles the dispatching services for us. And so we have this agreement. It sets forth the duties of all three parties. And I don't know, Bill, did you send the spreadsheet to the board members showing how the payments are calculated?
I have not, because we're still researching previous minutes to see
Okay.
if the board has already approved this formula. We've found minutes where it was discussed, but we haven't seen minutes yet where if they've approved it or not.
But looks like for this upcoming fiscal year, Fairview and the city of Nolensville will pay $91,000 each for the call answering and dispatching services.
Yes.
And I will say that this contract is also subject to the approval and any changes the county and the cities may have.
We lost the tail end of your audio again, Mr. Young.
Sorry. This contract is also subject to the approval by Williamson County and the cities and any changes that they may have to the contract, which I don't think they'll have any, but you never know.
I move that we approve the interlocal agreement with the two cities in the amount of $91,000 per year.
Can we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second.
Second.
In discussion, do you need to do any more research, or we just approving this?
Well, I think if we find, and Mr. Young, please jump in, if we find that the board did not adopt the base funding proposal, that probably that should come back to the next board meeting.
Yes.
And receive and put it on the table for a vote. Also, Fairview and Nolensville are aware of the $91,000, and they've got it in their budget for next year already.
Any further discussion? We'll call the roll. Mr. Gibbon,
Yay.
Mr. Hughes,
Aye.
Mr. Lovett, Mr. Almond,
Aye.
Mr. Ring, Mr. Graves, and myself with 100%. So the motion is carried. So we'll get this drawn up and signed or presented to the cities for signing, I guess. All right, Mr. Young, you have anything further?
He said no.
No.
It's hard.
Sir.
There we go.
Okay, does anybody else have anything before we adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I don't remember, is our budget committee meeting in May or June?
I believe it's May.
So that's our next meeting. I'd like to have the budget meeting in the conference room. Is there any objection to that?
Mr. Fairborn, would that be at 1:30?
Yes.
I don't, unless some of your members have a problem with it, I don't think any of us have a problem with it. So it'll be at 1:30 in May. That's 30 minutes before the May meeting.
Looks like May 18th.
What's the date of that?
It looks like May 18th.
May 18th,
Okay.
1:30. Anything further? Okay, we stand adjourned.